Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Oh, today is going to be a good day. I am about to jump in my JCW Clubman, aka Charlie, and drive all the way to Evolve Automotive because today we are fitting some huge amounts of carbon fibre. Now then, before I jump in the car, I have something very, very cool to share with you, especially if you own an F-Series Mini. Many of you have commented on my key fob that I have. This is from a company called Fun Fobs. And very coolly, I have an affiliate link with Fun Fobs. I will put the details below. But that is, I've always loved that. They are super easy to fit, but they have a new design out. Get ready for this. Look at that. So these are so easy to fit. When you get them in the little box, there's a small screwdriver and you just lever the back casing off of your existing key. The plastic case will then just pull off and then you can put whatever the design is, in this case the grenade, or they do this fantastic brake disc and brake caliper. They've got a number of different designs of that. But I thought you might like that. So there's an affiliate link below. Click on that link, head over to Fun Fobs and get your Mini goodness. Now, all I will say is this is super heavy, the quality of it, and you can actually, if you want to, remove that pin as well, but I have a feeling it might be explosive if you do that. But anyway, which key should I take today for Charlie? Should I go brake caliper or shall I go grenade? It's got to be the grenade. Right, I'm going to go and jump in the car. We've got a long way to drive. Now then, I've finally made it all the way to Evolve Automotive in Luton. It is a foul day outside, so we've already bought the car in, but let me introduce Imran. Now, we have, as you said, we've been on the periphery, we've kind of been at
we've seen each other
together.
We've seen each other on our friends' YouTube channels like Joe, and I know he knows you really well. Yeah. But yeah, it's the first time we've actually made contact. I know, but that's the world of YouTube. You kind of finally bump into people. Now, these guys do amazing things here. I will show you around the workshop and some of the amazing cars, especially on the Evolve side, but we're on the Eventuri side. That's correct.
Because today we're going to be fitting a proper air intake. Yeah,
so we designed and developed a kit for the F56 probably a couple of years ago, and now, as you know, the engine's updated in this one. So with a 306 horsepower engine, airbox has changed. It's basically the same as the new M135i.
Yeah.
So we had to develop it again, which we did on our GP3. And now we're going to fit one to your Clubman, and we've been told there's a slight difference in the way the front scoop fits onto the duct of the airbox. So we actually utilise that front scoop to draw air in. Yeah,
because we're just saying that scoop in the R53, it actually did something.
Yeah, it cooled the charge cooler.
But ever since then, it's just been basically some decorations stuck on the bonnet. I mean, it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool, but yeah,
it's
not functional. So we've made it functional. So the idea is we're going to test fit it on your car, and we've told there's a little tweak that we need to make, so we'll figure out what that is. And then we'll have a kit for the Clubman as well.
So yeah, before we start work, so I've got this, well actually this isn't the standard scoop, this bonnet scoop I fitted from SMPS 2012 over lockdown. And it looks cool, but if you look, it is actually literally a complete fake. There's no gap in there for any airflow to go through. And if you look under, and this is the bit I've never really understood, you've actually got two holes in the bonnet, and then if you look down, you've got the air that's going to basically come through the radiator, comes through these channels, through the airbox, and then over there into the engine. So that bit is the bit that we're going to change. So all of this is going to be replaced by a very, very cool Eventuri Intake. Made of carbon fibre. Oh yeah! Now then, this chap is Bilal, so Imran's business partner, who actually invented and designed what we're about to put on the car. So hopefully it'll fit. Or we need some tweaks. So the bit that's in doubt is, I guess, the bit that's going to be replaced there, right?
It's just the alignment between the bonnet scoop and the duct. Just to make sure that the alignment is correct, so the holes line up in the duct with the scoop.
Yeah. And then the basic, do you want to kind of give an idiot's guide to exactly what the bit that we're going to put on your Eventuri Intake?
Okay, so
the difference.
The intake is a complete system. We've taken advantage of the fact that there's holes in the bonnet, so we've created a functional scoop which literally forces cold air into the duct. So the duct then has two sources of air. from the stock locations behind the grille.
Yeah.
And also, you'll see in a minute, there's holes in the top of the duct, which the scoop lines up with. So you've got, as you're driving, cold air is literally being pushed into the duct as well. The effect that has is it almost decouples the filter housing where the filter sits from the duct. So if you imagine in its current state, the airbox is having to suck air through the duct. So you've got that extra drag resistance in the duct section. With our system, because we're forcing air into the duct, the airbox isn't having to draw air in from the duct, it's just being pushed in. So we've decoupled that section of the airbox from the filter.
Ah, right, okay.
So it just reduces the drag of the system. And then the airbox itself is going to be replaced with our patented Eventuri housing, which allows the airflow to remain much more laminar to the input of the turbo. So the overall effect should be that the turbo works with more efficiency. So if you measure the wastegate duty cycles of the turbo, it should be reduced, which means that it's hitting the same boost with less effort. So
sounds good.
The overall performance of the car should be increased because you'll hit the boost levels earlier.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's.
So it's not just pretty carbon. No. We've got some proper performance gains coming here as well.
Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. It should sound good, but the main purpose is function.
Wicked. Cool. Right, we best start getting these bits off.
Yeah.
So now this top cover's off. It's quite interesting. So you're just saying that there's no real forcing of air at all.
No. So the airbox is pulling air from the duct, which comes from these two sections.
Yeah.
So it's pulling air upwards. Airflow then goes into the duct, the airbox. It then has to change direction by 90 degrees to go up the panel filter.
Yeah.
And then another 90 degrees change to go through the MAF tube and then around the turbo.
Wow. Okay.
So you've got a few different changes of direction there.
And that's not good for air, right?
That's not good for air. So you'll get.
Do you get like stagnant bits of air and?
Exactly. You'll get some vortices in the airbox. You'll get stagnant sections in the airbox.
So you're now removing this scoop that I so proudly put in during lockdown.
Indeed. So those are the openings for scoop. So you've got your entry there, and then you've got the second entry where the stock airbox goes. So you can see there's like a rubber seal at the front here.
Yep.
That then seals up against the filter housing.
Yep.
So now you've got this.
Wow. Oh man, look at the cone filter in there, that was wicked.
So that's a custom filter we designed and had made for this configuration. So the filter itself is bespoke. You've got our patented Eventuri housing here. So the way it works is the cone filter normally would be the other way around.
Yeah.
Right, and you have a tube in the back of the cone filter going to wherever it's going to. In this situation, we've reversed that around, and now the filter literally just cleans the air. It doesn't dictate the shape of the flow. This housing now dictates the shape of the flow. So you've got a much smoother change of direction and diameter from the opening down to the MAF section. So your airflow remains laminar, so it's got a much smoother, that's your Eventuri effect there.
Yeah.
So you've got a gradual reduction of cross-section down to the diameter of the MAF section.
Does that increase the speed of airflow or the pressure or? Yeah,
so in doing so, and naturally what happens is you'll have a reduction in pressure, which then increases the speed of the flow. In an engine, what that means is the turbo has less resistance to work against, so your wastegate duty cycles reduce.
Wow.
That's where you get the increase in performance.
So yeah, closer look at these. The detailing on them is just beautiful. Absolutely, I love it. Anybody loves a bit of carbon fibre. As a cyclist, I love my carbon fibre, but this stuff is very, very special. And then that is the new bonnet scoop. And look, it's actually got a hole in it.
So you've got a cone in the middle which helps to spread the airflow out as it goes into the face, and then on the outside, as the airflow comes out of the filter, this is a machine piece which has a particular form on it, and it's got like I don't know if you can see it, but you've got like a fillet on the inside, then it has got a cone in the end. So if you think of like an airplane, the jet on an airplane, you've got that cone in the middle of it, that helps the airflow just to spread. On this case, on this side, as the airflow comes out, this helps it to converge back down.
Ah, okay.
Because if that was flat, you'd have a dead spot right
and
there.
You'd get a vortice.
You get a vortice.
Ah, okay.
And then the flow you wouldn't have a full flow in the middle of the tube.
Yeah.
This allows the flow to converge, and you'll have much fuller streamline of flow through the centre of that tube.
Mate.
Standard manufacturers, they're more concerned about emissions and noise. So the airbox for them is more of a noise attenuator. It's not for performance. So they're focusing more on making it quiet as much as possible, obviously reusable, serviceable, all that kind of stuff. We're interested in noise and power.
So I'm going to get a better induction noise from this?
You should do. I mean, they have changed slightly the configuration of the turbo on this one compared to the previous one. I know the previous one had a lot of turbo flutter and that kind of stuff, so you get a bit, but not as much as the previous one.
Okay. And a bit of performance as well?
Yes, you get performance, for sure. You get a change in throttle response. You should feel it more eager to drive.
That's what I want. Yeah.
So it's not just full throttle, it's your mid-range, bottom end, your response.
Bit of carbon fibre goodness. Do you realise this means I'm going to have to change all the piano black bits to carbon fibre now? So it's a satisfying click, but it's also an unnerving one. I hate putting these things on.
Okay, good.
So now you can kind of see now. Look, I can put my finger through there.
Actually, an important point to make on this. A lot of people ask us whether they're concerned about water. You know, they're worried, does water then go straight in and, you know, damage engine? Well, if you look at the way this works, if you've got water like rain, for example, or even a puddle, that's going to hit the front of the scoop. It's going to then hit these two barriers, if you like, and that will go straight down. So obviously water's heavier than air, so what will happen is the water will hit these panels at the back of the scoop, run down into the duct, and then they'll literally drain out. So the water will come down. Yeah. And then you've got two channels of exit, one at the front, and there's a drain hole right there.
Oh, cool, okay.
So water, if it collects in this area, it comes out the hole.
Oh, it just looks awesome. It really does look awesome. And then you use a mounting point that was down there.
Yeah, so there's a mounting point down there, and I'm going to secure it in a minute when the duct is in place. So I'm just going to secure this down.
Yeah, I was going to say, all good so far? That kind of went in place? So it's the bit you need to check is the mounting between that and the...
Yes.
Up there.
Yes.
Now it just so happens that the guys here have a GP3 with the kit already fitted. Oh yeah, so we're just saying these openings are different.
Different openings. That's why these are shaped in that way.
Ah. It does look good though, eh? So this, so I'm going to put all the details of these guys. They've got a brilliant YouTube channel you need to tune into, because you just need to watch the videos of this on the dyno. So that's 900 wheel horsepower, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is 900 wheel horsepower M5. So there's a brilliant video of it on the dyno which you need to watch, spitting flames and all kinds of things. But then Imran takes it to VMAX. And just watch it run down. On the first familiarization run of VMAX, this thing hit 200 miles an hour. It is utterly bonkers. Oh wow, it's all in. Just look at this. Absolutely beautiful. I must admit, I really love this badging just here, but you can kind of see the airflow comes through, and there's again, it's just a thing of artwork. I'm going to have to basically remove the bonnet, but luckily if we come down, shut the bonnet a bit, I've also got my carbon scoop. That's just looking awesome. I can't wait to start the car and drive home now. It looks awesome.
Interestingly, the bonnet scoop on this car sits about an inch forward, so it's blocking most of the opening on the duct, which is surprising because it looks like the same car, but it's not.
I thought it was the same car.
So what we're going to do is we're going to modify the openings in the duct, bring them lower a bit, refit it, make sure it's open and you've got correct airflow, and then we'll use that moving forward all of these updated GP3 and JCWs.
So I was actually part of the development. my coming here today hasn't
that's
been
why we asked you to come.
Excellent, superb. So we just have to wait for that to be modified, and that's good. I feel good, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Been part of the development team.
Part of the team.
Yeah. Look at this rapid prototyping. It's all been fixed.
Yeah. On-site development.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've extended the holes by 20 mil, so they're further down.
So that way.
Yep. So that takes into account the extension of the bonnet that you've got in this car. So.
Because what we didn't realise is that this car has a different bonnet to the GP.
Very surprising, but yeah, it's a different bonnet.
And actually, when you start looking at it, you can see quite a few differences. But I just assumed it was the same bonnet, and it's not. It's different length. So
glad you came down then.
So I'm very glad it came down. But what I didn't realise is this kit, as we're filming now, hasn't actually been released.
That's correct.
This is only the second car it's gone in after the guys here had it on their GP3. So the kit will be released on Monday
the 13th.
The 13th. So you'll be able to buy this, so you can watch this video, think about it over the weekend, and then basically on Monday you can go and order one, because look at it, it looks absolutely awesome. The one thing I do need to do is get in the car and drive home, so stay tuned to this video, because I'm going to get in the car and drive home in a minute. But mate, thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely awesome. What a thing. I'm going to be a real carbon bore though. I'm going to go up and say, would you like to see my Eventuri Intake? I'll just pop the bonnet. Now I'm back in the car heading home, and I have to say I cannot wait to get out onto some open road to see what difference this makes. So just before I left, I went up and had a look at the CAD modelling that Bilal was looking at. He's already adapted the design to make the holes bigger. So I'm really chuffed, because when Imran contacted me, the whole premise of me going up was they weren't sure whether the Clubman one would fit perfectly or not, because it had been designed for the GP3, and they'd made some assumptions that the GP3 and the Clubman, same engine, same bonnet, right? No. And I'm really chuffed that it actually wasn't the case, and we needed to make some changes. Well, they needed to make some changes, because I feel like I've inputted into the design process. But let's get some open roads and see if I make... So talking to the guys, I think the two things I'm going to notice a sharper throttle response, and I might get a little bit more induction noise as well. Here we go. Oh mate. Yes, I can definitely feel a little bit more punch. Oh, I'm liking that. So interestingly, Imran was saying when they put this on the GP3 without doing any engine tweaks at all, they had a kind of 12 to 15 horsepower gain just by having better breathing in the engine. I think it's safe to say that not only does that Eventuri Intake look awesome, the difference in throttle response, I'm not getting so much difference in intake or induction noise or any kind of turbo noise, but in terms of throttle response and just punch, it feels awesome. But anyway guys, I need to say a massive thank you to Imran and Bilal from Evolve and Eventuri for reaching out and kind of saying, look, we need a bit of help. We need a JCW Clubman to try our intake out on. And as I said, this is now, it's only the second car with this engine, second Clubman with one of these fitted. They are available next week. But yeah, very cool. I hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. I'm going to battle through this awful, hateful weather all the way back to the barn. But I'll see you on the next film, guys. You take care. Drive safe.